Hi, it's Monday night. Welcome to my first proper Simsathon vlog of like, we're writing Simsathon now, it's the second. I finished like 8 things yesterday, one of which was a DNF because your girl cray. But today I've been working on Angel Mage by Garth Nix, which I've been really enjoying. I've been listening to this on audiobook. I'm now like 2/3 of the way through, I would say, and it's amazing. I'm loving it. I also am going to pick up Girls of Storm and Shadow. I've read like 2 chapters, but I didn't have it with me when I went to work today because I DNF'd something last night, so I'm gonna work on that now. But I also went to the bookstore and picked up The Unspoken Name by A.K. Larkwood, which is a female orc fantasy. Pretty sure she's an orc. Don't know what that actually means in context, because to me orc only applies to Lord of the Rings, so I don't know if it's the same kind of orc, I don't know. But and I also picked up Sword of Fire, which is apparently like an elf fantasy, not fae but elf. I don't know, it's also super floppy, but I'd seen this on somebody's, I think it was Heather from Aphrodite Reads mentioned it on Twitter, and then I saw it in the bookstore and I was like, pretty sure it's an Irish elf based story, though I don't know the details. But this cover is gorgeous, so I impulse bought this. Whoops. Nah. Anyway, I'm gonna go get into reading Girls of Storm and Shadow. I want to try and get through as much of it as I can tonight, because Chain of Gold and Crescent City come out tomorrow, and I want to try and get Girls of Storm and Shadow like zoomed through before then. It's not going to happen, but I'm going to try and get through like so much of it tonight. So I didn't get as far through as I thought I would. I'm 80 pages into Girls of Storm and Shadow, so like almost a quarter, but I'm getting tired, so I'm going to go to bed. I think I'm enjoying this one more than the first. The first was like equally darker than I expected and not as dark as I expected, and this I think is sitting, I don't know whether it's because I've read the first one or what, but I feel like it's meeting my expectations a lot more. I feel like it's dealing with PTSD and trauma really well. Have I mentioned what this is about? This is the sequel to Girls of Paper and Fire, which is a Asian spy fantasy where there's a demon king and he takes concubines, and our main character Lei is a concubine, and there's a relationship with her and one of the other girls, and they are trying to escape and kill him or whatever. I had to charge my camera as well, but yeah, so I'm 80 pages in this. I'm gonna keep working on it tomorrow until I get Chain of Gold, then I might stop to read Chain of Gold and come back. Or maybe I finish this before I start Chain of Gold. I don't know, we'll figure it out tomorrow. Hi, it's March 3rd. I should be getting ready for work, but I just got a package in the mail. Like, the delivery man just arrived at my door. This is a gift from Paige, from Pages with Paige. We buddy read and were having the knot together last month, and we've been chatting a lot on Twitter, and she was like, I want to buy you some books, and I was like, but I acquiesced, because I don't have a wish list she could have just stolen from. So she ordered for me All the Birds in the Sky by Charlie Jane Anders. This is, I wanted this because Charlie Jane Anders is a trans non-binary author, I think. I wonder if it has info in the back. I'm not sure. I remember her being on a list of trans authors, so maybe she's just trans. I can't remember exactly, but that's why it went on my list. I will do better research in future. This is science fiction fantasy, I think. Or maybe just fantasy. Patricia is a witch who can communicate with animals. Lawrence is a mad scientist and inventor of the 2-second time machine. As teenagers, they gravitate towards one another, sharing the horrors of growing up weird, but their lives take different paths. Magic school, science. This is so up my alley. Obviously it came with a little note, so I've washi taped it in. I'm so excited. Oh, I'm gonna go put this on my whole part of my cart. And then I better get ready for work. So not only did I forget to take my lunch to work, I forgot to take my camera to work, and I was gonna edit a video while I was there. And I forgot to take my headphones, so I couldn't listen to Angel Mage at all today because I didn't have headphones. So instead I picked up King and the Dragonflies by Case and Calendar, which was available on Scribd, so I could listen to it through my desktop computer using my other headphones. AirPod Life. And I finished it. I got the whole way through. It was really good. I ended up giving it 5 stars. It's really well written, middle grade. It's a middle grade story about King, whose brother Khalid has died of a heart attack, I think. And one of his close friends has disappeared, and it's kind of exploring like sexuality, grief, all this kind of good stuff, and it was amazing and really well balanced, I thought. So I gave it 5 stars. I also went to the bookstore because it's, if you didn't know, March 3rd. So I picked up Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare, collector's first edition, which means it has some artwork in the front. I'm pretty sure this is meant to be Cordelia, and I did not know she was portrayed here as a woman of color. I don't know if that's like, she's a Carstairs, but that's like all I know about her. I don't know much about any of these characters at all. But this is Lucy. I think this is James. This is Cordelia. I've also got character cards. That's how I know these things. So we have Cordelia. People are only invincible in books. Matthew. There is no special protection in this world for kind people. No one can follow me into the shadows, not even you. So this is James. And Lucy. I do not think James or Cordelia or any of us have chosen to be the ones to solve this mystery. It has chosen us. So we got character cards, the picture in the front. So I'm not sure who these ones are. I'm guessing this is Will and Tessa. But that's about as far as I've gotten in my knowledge. I'm still deciding. Do I just pick this up today and start reading, or do I work my way through Girl of Storm and Shadow? I'm like, not even halfway. I'm probably just gonna start this. We all know I'm probably just gonna start this. But I also picked up our good friend The Beast, also known as Crescent City, also known as actually House of Earth and Blood. Crescent City is the series, but like they did Dum Dum on the cover for that front. This is so floppy. Originally I was gonna get the hardback, but it's super floppy. So I was like, Matthew, who is my bookstore friend, who reviewed Chain of Gold from my local bookstore, I was like, you know what, buddy, I'm just gonna get the paperback. And he was like, good, I believe in you. Oh, it has a map. Love that. Oh, there's 4 houses. So does this mean it's a 4-book series? House of Earth and Blood, House of Sky and Breath, House of Many Waters, House of Flame and Shadow. I feel like we've got our series titles. All the books in the series are clearly indicated here, so I'm guessing it's a 4-book series. Alrighty, so there's that. And I got one other thing. So I didn't like the first book by this author. But the premise of this one sold me. I can't remember if I talked about this in my anticipated reads video. But this is The Vanishing Deep by Astrid Schultz. It is I want to say dystopian. It's a world of water where there's old world treasures. So like, it's like the world's been drowned. But our main character, in this world you can pay for someone to be resurrected for a day. And our main character wants to resurrect her sister and is trying to make money to resurrect her sister because her sister's been accused of killing their parents and she wants to know what happened. How cool does that sound? So I really hope it lives up to that synopsis, but I didn't love Four Dead Queens. So quickly wait, but Four Dead Queens was super fast paced. So if nothing else, this will be a fast read. So for now, I think I'm gonna pick up this, and this is basically gonna be a Chain of Gold reading vlog. Yep. And then next week we'll do a basically Crescent City reading vlog. How about that? Okay, I went to yoga, I got dinner, went to the supermarket, and showered, and now we're finally back, and I'm gonna start Chain of Gold. Yeah. That's basically all there is to it. I'm gonna actually remember to take my camera with me to work tonight. Often I don't, because I'm never gonna get it out anyway. But I'm gonna take it tonight, because I have a feeling we might have some live vlogging action. We talked about this earlier. So let's see how this goes. I shouldn't have even turned my camera off, because straight away we're starting off with a Charles Dickens quote from Great Expectations. We're going hard on the Charles Dickens, and I'm excited because the Infernal Devices all had chapter quotes, but none of the other series do, and I'm pretty sure this one has chapter quotes. Heck yeah! I'm very excited. So today I finished an audiobook. I taken out an audiobook, and I started another one. So we finished, it is Wednesday, my dudes. We finished Angel Mage by Garth Nix. This is a standalone European fantasy. It's the 17th century. I'll come back. So in this world they make icons of angels, and from them can summon them to do stuff, and it can range from like common shit to really complicated shit. So yeah, this was really good. It's a really interesting magic system, and it is very, I would say, political, and relies somewhat on a vague understanding of like Spanish and French aristocracy of the era. If you kind of know what was happening around then, you'll be fine. But I thought it was really fun. It did have a bit of a simple ending. It was just pretty straightforward. It didn't absolutely blow my mind. But it was a really solid standalone fantasy in my opinion, and I ended up giving it a 4 stars. And then I picked up The Queen's Assassin by Melissa Dela Cruz, and I ended up DNFing this really quickly, like 26 pages in, because the audiobook narrator was so irritating. They mustn't have used the right microphone or filter, because you could literally hear every breath she took as like a gasp, like a every single breath. And breathing noises in books don't normally bother me, but I could feel it. Oh, it was so obvious, and it meant I couldn't pay attention to what she was saying. So, and this is not a book I would bother picking up if I wouldn't buy it. So it was like, it was available from the library on audio, but we're DNFing it. It's a nope from me. I wasn't super invested, so it's fine. And so then instead of that, I picked up, and I'm like barely in, I'm like 1 chapter in, to Juliet Takes a Breath by Gabby Rivera, or Juliet. Yeah, so I've barely started this at all. It's about feminism and queer stuff. Yeah, so I've barely started that, but that's also on the cards. I've read a bit today so far of Chain of Gold, and it's going to be my priority for the rest of the day. I just had a bath, and I was reading in the bath. So I'm now up to page 226, which is like a decent chunk of the way through. I'm going to try and get to page 350 tonight, maybe. Things are happening. God, this book is like so like incestuous, but not in like actual incest, but like everybody has chemistry with everybody else. And I have no idea who's meant to be like relationship endgame. No idea. I'm very excited to see how things play out. Would love another polyam relationship, but hey, yeah, It is very good so far, but I would say like we're 200 pages into a 600-page book, and it is very, and I think Lady Midnight was like this a lot as well, which is why I didn't love Lady Midnight the first time I read it and liked it more on a reread, is that it's very character driven, and it's kind of a lot more, less action scenes as they kind of like slowly build the mystery. And then like books 2 and 3 are like full blown boom 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 kind of thing. So there's a lot more like building in this one. Like not much is happening, but also a lot is happening. It is a bit hard to keep track of everyone. There are a lot of characters, is what I mean to say. And you've got to kind of be on the ball of like, who's who, what do they mean to everyone else, especially when everyone has chemistry with everyone. Like you can't be like, oh yeah, they're that couple, whatever. There's no like couples that have solidified in any way, shape or form. So yeah, it's very good so far. I'm really enjoying my time reading it, but it is slower paced, character driven, building up those relationships and like little bits of a mystery. Like it's incredibly mysterious, and it is mystery elements that I was already like aware of and curious about from other novellas, like some of the short stories, but like so good. Magnus hasn't arrived yet, and he better be in this, otherwise what is the reason for living? But also Anna is giving me like all my like Magnus vibes of like what I want from Magnus I'm getting from Anna, so we're cool with that. We're cool with that. I love Anna. Gotta look like a mess, but the delivery man just came, so I got a couple of things that I was waiting on that came out last month. So we have Finna by Nino Cipri. This is a Tor.com novella, and it follows interdimensional travel and IKEA. So you can see all the like IKEA parts, the like Allen keys on the cover. So this is very short. It's like 130 pages. The author is trans non-binary. I don't know the queer representation specifically included in here. But I'm definitely going to be reading this super soon because it's so short. It explores queer relationships and queer feelings, capitalism and accountability, labor and love, all with a bouncing sense of humor and a commitment to the strange, which is exactly what I'm interested in. So this will probably get read maybe this weekend, maybe next weekend, depending on what my timing looks like for stuff. I've got other plans. And then the other one is The Sound of Stars by Alicia Dow. This is something that like intrigues me, but is also so weird. This is a sci-fi, and we follow a secret librarian human and an alien who loves pop music, and they're gonna team up to save the world. So there was a misunderstanding between the leaders of Earth and the invading Ilori. 1/3 of the world's population died, and now she survives in an Ilori controlled center in New York City. But so emotional expression is grounds for execution because humans are volatile apparently. So music, art and books are illegal, but she has a secret library. And then there's Morris, but he's like M0R1X. He's raised to be emotionless. He finds her illegal library. He's duty bound to deliver her for execution. The trouble is he finds himself drawn to human music and in desperate need of more. So somehow they're gonna save the world. I don't know. It's pink under the cover, like the best kind of pink. And yeah, I'm excited to try this out, though it is such a weird concept, like so weird. I don't really know what the like world saving conflict is, but it's not really in the synopsis, so we'll figure that out. Pretty sure the main character, the author, is like British, I think. And so I'm guessing the main character will also be black, but that's just a guess. I'm pretty confident. So I went to a yoga class. I went to the supermarket. I put on some dishes to wash. Now I'm gonna sit down. I'm working on Chain of Gold. I am still incredibly sweaty. Oh my god. Oh my god. But anyway, I'm watching currently Cat from Cattastic's book haul from like earlier in the month, last month. But we're gonna crack in on Chain of Gold. I've got like 250 pages left, but I would really like to finish it today. I'm hoping the pace picks up and then I can fly through it. Through the ending is my hope, but we'll see, we'll see. So far I'm settling into the characters. Everyone's kind of fleshed out a bit more, so I kind of can keep track of them all a bit more. I think my favorite character at the moment is Matthew. My favorite point of view character. Oh no, okay, my favorite character is a tie for Anna and Matthew. Why do I always like the rakes? Like, really? And then, I don't know. I think Cordelia might be my favorite POV character, but we'll see. We'll see. I am, yeah, over halfway now. Let's try and do it. Let's try and do it, folks. Let's work on it. Okay, is Cordelia demisexual? Because I'm really feeling those vibes strongly. Yeah, I hope so. Has that been confirmed? Please confirm for me. I must say, this is the first Shadowhunter book, I think, where everything was about pining rather than like these steaming moments between characters. Like, I feel like the Infernal Devices, you had all those like really like steamy scenes really early on between like Will and Tessa. They were kissing in book one, right? They were kissing in book one. And I feel like this is so much more like everyone is always with other people. I feel like hardly anyone's ever alone. And it's all about this like everyone's attracted to everyone else. Like, everyone has conflict. It's a web. It's a relationship web. Everyone's interconnected. And they're really spending all their time like pining after each other. And I'm loving it, but it definitely lends to a slower pace. Like, I feel like I've been sitting here for a while and I've read like 40 pages. But so I'm still gonna try and finish it tonight, but it better pick up soon if I'm gonna finish it tonight. But yeah, it's just like, the pining is so good. I don't have any like favorite ship or anything. I don't even know who I want to be with who. Just the pining and the angst. Oh, I'm feeling it. You know how I said I felt there was no kissing? Never mind. I spoke too soon by like minutes. Never mind. Did we predict I wouldn't finish this today? I cooked dinner, and then when we were eating, we got watching YouTube. So then like I kind of didn't get back into things till like 9 o'clock. And then I read another chunk, but we're still like just under 150 pages from the end. I really need to go to bed. So I'm gonna finish this tomorrow. But it's so good. I do think it's picking up, which is good. I feel like that last 50 pages went by like in like half the time, less than half the time it took to read the last 50 pages. So I definitely think this last section's gonna zoom by, but if I didn't have work tomorrow, I would just stay up and read it. But I do, so I'm not gonna. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna finish this tomorrow. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. We just had like a mysterious plot twist and then a plot twist, and all of it's pretty mysterious, but like, I'm emo. I really want to know how this is gonna end. But I will say, where I am, we've had like one chapter of like intense plot. So this is so character driven, and it is a lot of setup and character dynamics. So I think you do have to come into this prepared to take your time with it and just enjoy the character dynamics. If you're looking for something like non-stop, you're not going to get it. But I thought that was the same with Lady Midnight. Lady Midnight was really slow and a lot more about knowing how all the characters link together. But then book 2 was like fire the whole way through. And I think this is going to be exactly the same in this trilogy. So I definitely can't wait for book 2. But I really want to know what happens in these last like 140 pages. But anyway, I'm going to bed. I'm going to read this tomorrow. Okay, I'm a little bit late for work because I forgot Jessie was also going to work and I need to use the shower, but I also need to wash my hair. But I just got a package. This is We Unleash the Merciless Storm by Taylor K. Mejia, which is the sequel to We Set the Dark on Fire. It's a Latinx dystopian. I really enjoyed book 1, so this, I'm pretty sure it's just a duology, and this is from Carmen's perspective. The first one was from Danny's perspective, and I'm so excited to read this. I want to try and squeeze it into March, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna be like an early read in April, but oh, that's Friday night, my dudes. I just finished. I gotta work in like an hour-ish, but I just finished Chain of Gold. And the bonus short story in the back of this. I've decided to give this a 4 stars, but not because it wasn't amazing, which it was. But it does really require you to have read the rest of the series, I do think. If you hadn't read the rest of the series, this, I think it would just take, you would not get invested in characters. Like, you have to kind of be invested from the start just because you know vaguely of them and you know that it's going to be good, and then it kind of settles in. But it does take, like, this is a 600-page book, and I think it takes like almost 400 pages to get really settled in. In the first 200 pages I kept having to refer back to the picture in the front to remember who was who, and it is pretty slow paced. The first 500 pages are way slow compared to the last 100 pages. So I think execution wise, if this wasn't a Shadowhunter book and I wasn't already like well entrenched in the world, this has to be a 4 star. So that's why I'm settling on 4 star. But I am obsessed with Shadowhunters, and the character dynamics and how everyone kind of ended up in preparation for the next book is like chef's kiss good. So like it was a hard tie between like 4 and 5 star. Like emotionally and my own personal like investment and enjoyment by the end was like a 5 star, but it was only by the end, and the rest of the way through it could have been a 4 star. So I feel like it deserves a 4 star because it shouldn't just be the last like 100 pages that solidify me to a 5 star. But I could continue reading about these characters for days. Like I wish I had book 2 straight off now, but it did take 400 pages for me to get invested in these characters, not just the overall world. So 4 stars to Chain of Gold, but I think it's gearing up to be a 5-star series, just like 5-star trilogy, just not this one. But I fully expect book 2 and 3 to be 5 stars. I have a feeling I also rated Lady Midnight 4 stars. All my emotional feelings about Lady Midnight were 4 stars. On my reread it was more like a 5. Let's see what I originally rated Lady Midnight. Yeah, also 4 stars. So same kind of thing, like Lady Midnight, it took a long time for me to get invested in these particular characters. I was just like invested in the world. But by the end I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed it on a reread. So same kind of thing, but like Lord of Shadows and Queen of Red Darkness were amazing. So I fully expect this series to pick up and be like 5 star the rest of the way through. It was really, really good. I really emo. Especially the ending and where all the characters are ready to go into book 2. It's got some good tropes, choice. Anyway, I also read today a large chunk of Juliet Takes a Breath by Gabby Rivera. I'm enjoying this. I think it's like a 4 star, probably a low 4 star, because it's not really got a strong plot or anything like that. It's very much a like primer to intersectional feminism. Like if you wanted to give a teenager a book that explained critiqued and analyzed intersectional feminism through a variety of lenses, as in different people present their viewpoint, and it provides to me a pretty unbiased perspective, but I don't know, somebody else might find it biased. But in a narrative format, I think this is it. This is what you should give your teenager as a primer to intersectional feminism. But it, yeah, isn't a strong plot. It's not preachy per se, but it is very like, it's a primer to feminism. It's very info-dumpy, kind of, while not being info-dumpy at the same time. It's hard to explain. It's a very particular writing style. It is very straight and to the point. But it's good. It's about a Latinx girl, I think she might be Afro-Latinx, from the Bronx, who discovers feminism through a book about vaginas and like vagina-based feminism. So a very like white cis women feminism, but that doesn't really fit her, obviously, because she's not white. And she had this deep connection to this book, so she emailed, I think it's in the 90s, so she wrote a letter to the author, or early 2000s maybe, and gets an internship with the author for her summer break for college credit. And it's a lot about her exploring ideas of feminism and how her experiences don't fit that space. And it's great, but it definitely does, like, here is some new stuff she hasn't encountered before to do with intersectional feminism, and let's discuss it and critique it. It does openly talk about polyamory in here, so good on that. But yeah, I haven't finished yet. I'm almost done. I'll finish it over the weekend for sure, and I'll give you my final rating when I finish it. But I'm kind of on a 4 stars-ish, and I'm not very far from the end. I'm like 10% left. But for now, tonight I'm gonna crack on with Girls of Storm and Shadow. I'm on page 124 from before I picked up Chain of Gold, and I want to try and slam through as much of this as I can tonight and finish it as soon as I can tomorrow. But I do have a super busy work weekend, so we'll see what happens. I really shouldn't have put down this for Chain of Gold, because now I'm like, I don't know where I didn't read any of it last night, is what I'm trying to say. I'm about to try and get into it now, but it's hard. Like, I've taken like half a week break, so it's hard. But yeah, I'm gonna try and jump in now, try and get a chunk read. We're cooking brownies today. I've got a little bit off, and then I've got work in like 4 hours. I still got a shower. There's so much to do. How long? It is Sunday afternoon. I just went to the library and picked up a couple of things. We have Moon Cakes by Wendy Zhu and Suzanne Walker. This is a graphic novel. It's come out really recently, and I've heard good things about it. I don't really know that much about the plot. Teen witch Nova Huang follows reports of a white wolf in the woods and discovers her childhood crush, werewolf Tam Lang, battling a horse demon. I think Tam is non-binary. I don't know. I'm excited to read this. I'm going to try and read it today. We'll see what happens. But that's the goal. And I also picked up The Mythic Dream by, what are you doing, sissy? By, edited by Dominic Parisian and Nava Wolf. This is a collection of short stories from a bunch of authors. John Chu, Leah Cypress, Indra Pramit Das, Amal El-Matar, Jeffrey Ford, Sarah Gailey, Carlos Hernandez, Kat Howard, Stephen Graham Jones, T. Kingfisher, Anne Leckie, Carmen Maria Machado, Katie Martine, Shauna Maguire, Naomi Novik, Rebecca Roanhorse, Alyssa Wong, and Ji Yang, all of whom, like, I've read from quite a few of them, and I'm interested in reading from others. I requested this from the library on Erin from Coda Cakes, Erin Franklin's recommendation. She told me I would love it, so I requested my library get it. If you've been watching me for a while, you will know I don't tend to purchase anthologies. I get a weird kind of, I don't know, I get really negative towards them if I have them sitting on my shelf, and I tend to not prioritize them if I own them. Whereas if I get them from the library, I'm on a deadline, so I prioritize them and I get them read. I just read like a little bit every day till they're done. So I will probably also pick this up today. So it is Sunday. I want to start next week's vlog reading Crescent City, so I need to today finish Girls of Storm and Shadow. I have about 100 pages left. It's 3 o'clock. We can do that. I also want to read Finna by Nino Cipri. It's short. We can do that. And then I want to try and in that time also read Mooncakes, and maybe a story from this and a story from the Artemis Fowl Files. We might even get through all of the Artemis Fowl Files if we try real hard. It's just 2 short stories or 2 like novellas, so could be achievable. Like, I'm going to prioritize obviously Girls of Storm and Shadow, then Finna, then Mooncakes, then this, and then if we get through that, then we'll read something from the Mythic Dream. But otherwise this I'll just be working on over the next couple of weeks. Yeah, I think April and I are going to FaceTime, and yeah, I'm going to try and finish this book. I need to finish this goddamn book. Yeah, I'm not loving it so far. This is obviously the sequel to Girls of Paper and Fire, which I really enjoyed. I think I gave it a 4 stars. My biggest problem with this is I did stop to read Chain of Gold in the middle of it, which probably didn't help. But I think it definitely has middle book syndrome, or like second book syndrome. It kind of just, I don't feel like it's going anywhere. It's just a lot of like filler to get to where book 3 is going to be, which I don't appreciate at all. But it's enjoyable to read. I just kind of don't get the point. So at the moment I'm sitting on a 3-star. We still have 100 pages to go, so I'm going to power through that. I'll come back and update you. Alright, so I think I'm going to end this vlog here. I'm about to head to work, but I did finish Girls of Storm and Shadow. I ended up giving this 3 stars, basically along the lines of what I said earlier. But the ending was interesting, and I'm definitely excited to see where book 3 goes. So I will pick up book 3 when it comes out. But yeah, this was a 3 stars. It was good, but it just wasn't anything like amazing. And it definitely has second book syndrome as part of a trilogy. And then picked up Finna, and I'm like, got a couple of chapters left till I'm done of this. This is multiple dimensions in an IKEA, basically, and it's so funny. I'll finish this when I get to work, so I'll talk about that in my next vlog. I'm also going to take to work with me Mooncakes and the Artemis Fowl Files and the Mythic Dream. So I'll just take a little collection of stuff to read at work, and then tomorrow, and then when I get home from the office tomorrow, I'm going to start Crescent City. So keep an eye out for the next vlog, which will be a Crescent City plus others reading vlog. Like, this was a Chain of Gold reading vlog. So keep an eye out for that. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Bye!